Hoppe Hour is on now. Hoppe Hour is on now.
What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And on the phone line from the nationally syndicated Woody Morning Show, The Woody Show, out of Los Angeles, also heard in Portland, Albuquerque, Dixon, North Dakota, St. Louis, and in 170 countries on the American Forces Network. Randy from The Woody Show is on Hoppe Hour. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. We were just talking off the record, off air. But what I like about you, man, even though I haven't met you yet, what I like about you is you're on the biggest show in Los Angeles. You're on one of the most biggest shows in radio that's growing. But you seem humble as hell, man, because what I despise about radio is when kids our age get a big head over an opportunity or break they have. It's like, come on, man. Like, remember where you came from. So that's what I like about you, and I can tell already, is that you're very humble.
Yeah, and I contribute a lot of it to working with the show. Woody, Greg, Ravy, Menace, everybody. Everybody's so level-headed. Nobody has their head in the clouds. And so a lot of the, like, my humbleness I've gotten is because of them. It's never be complacent in what we have. We always want to do better. We always can do better. So I contribute a lot of that to them.
What's the best mentoring they've given you? Because I can imagine working with radio pros that have been doing it for so long and have been doing it well in every market they've been in. What type of advice do you get from them?
The best piece of advice that I've gotten from someone in radio, and to me, it always speaks volumes to me, is don't associate yourself with people unless you're at the level that you want to be at. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you want to emulate yourself to be, for instance, like Woody, associate yourself with people who are at Woody's level or Woody's caliber, because by putting yourself in the place or around people like them, like, it kind of rubs off on you. You pick up their little habits, and before long they become your own. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's probably the best piece of advice. That and something that my intern manager told me when I was an intern, which was always be mindful of who you're around. Always know your surroundings and always be nice to everybody because you never know who's going to be your next boss.
Yeah, dude, because it's really weird. Do you have it where you see somebody and you see potential in them and maybe you're working promotions with them or you see them in the hallway and you know that they're going to do great in radio, but then they do great in radio even more fast than you thought? Like, they just climb the rope real fast. And to me, that reminds you that literally anything can happen in this business. I mean, it's really crazy. There's so many cities in this country. There's so many different radio companies, but it's truly crazy how small of a business it is.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely surreal. And you never want to burn bridges. You never want to leave a bad impression with someone. You never want to rub someone the wrong way, because you never know when that one person might be the difference between you getting a job at, whatever market or not. You know what I mean? So you always, the way I try to be, always be on your best behavior, respect those that respect you, and just be mindful of your surroundings, man. That's the best thing I can tell you. That's the best advice that I've been given.
So how has everything been going on with the show? I mean, you guys are killing it in the ratings. You guys are adding new markets. How surreal is it for you that you're on in the second biggest city in this continent in a radio market that people would dream of being in? Like, do you go to work each day, you grab your key card, you scan it, the door opens, and do you just say to yourself, man, I'm working in Los Angeles?
Dude, it's crazy. And to be completely honest, I don't think it's hit me yet, truly. And I don't know if it ever will. It's more like a shock factor, where it's like I was interning for the show because I love the show as a listener. It was in LA, and now we're in we're basically global. We're with the Armed Forces Network and stuff. But yeah, it's surreal, and it's definitely humbling. You know what I mean?
Dude, the reason why you guys haven't made too is Woody and you guys are such positive hosts that you guys bring positivity out of your fan bases. There are shows that are mean, so then the listeners are going to be mean. So literally, as a 21-year-old, right? You're 21?
Yeah, I'm 21.
You have it set where you're around these happy people that are grateful of their fans and are very outgoing on air. So it brings out this fan base that I don't think I've ever seen in radio. Like, literally, I don't think you guys get any mean comments. I mean, I'm sure you get some from maybe fans of different radio shows, but it just seems like your fans are nice, dude. It just seems like they're very grateful that they have a show to listen to on the radio in the morning.
Yeah, man. You know, we're down to earth. You know, like Woody always says, we're transparent. You know, and I feel like by being transparent and by being ourselves, like being our true selves, it kind of creates that level of intimacy with the listeners, you know? So, like, traditionally, most shows wouldn't share, like, personal details and stuff, whereas us, we'll talk about, oh, you know, this happened in my life, or this happened the other day, you know, and by doing that, we're kind of, like, letting people into our own world. Granted, this is more or less the show, because they're always talking, and they let the listeners into their world, and I feel by doing that, it creates, like I said, that level of intimacy, where the listeners, like, you know, these people care about us, you know, as listeners, as fans, and they're willing to tell us like these important things. And I feel by doing that, like listeners know that we're genuine. You know, we're not one of those fake shows. You know, what you see is what you get, and what you're gonna get is a good quality show with a lot of people who work very hard, who love what they do, and absolutely love the listeners that listen to the show.
So for me in radio, it's one of those things where I feel like you take it for granted because it just goes by so fast, and it's just such a fun business to be in. And there's moments that seem very real. Like for me, I've been in 2 boxing matches here for the Bone. I've done other things where I've been in front of a ton of fans. Like last weekend, our alternative channel here in town, 97X, had their Next Big Thing concert. And it was crazy to see all like 17,000 fans here in town loving the music that we were playing with like Vance Joy and the Lumineers and Paramore. For you, what was a gig or a moment where you really took it in? Like what was a gig that just seemed like it wasn't even real?
The first time it ever kind of occurred to me it was probably the Fiesta of this year. And the reason being, like, it was the first real event after I became a member of the show. And it was just weird, man, because people would stop me and they'd be like, "Oh my God, are you Randy?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do I know you? And they'd be like, "No, I just seen you on the YouTube channel of the show. Or can I take a picture with you?" And it's just to me, it's weird because people actually want to take pictures with me. You know, people want to talk to me. People know about me. They know stuff like they reiterate things to me that I didn't even remember I said on air. You know, it's definitely surreal. It's definitely cool. And then, I mean, icing on the cake was probably when we had our summer camp with all those listeners who were chasing the show, who were super pumped to be there, super pumped to see the show. That also was super, super rad, you know. But by far, the Fiesta being that it was the first ever time, like I had people like who knew who I am. You know, they knew who I was.
So, what time do you get up in the morning? Because a lot of shows, they show up at 5:59, and it works for them. But for you guys, it's very well known that Woody gets there very early, and then you guys put in a lot of prep for the show. What time do you get to work?
For me, I have to be there before 5 o'clock when the show starts. But I've been trying to build the habit of getting there 4:30. You know, being that we're getting bigger. You know, more responsibilities are going to come. So I'm trying to grow as a person as well. You know, not to sound like a cornball, but yeah, you know, just for me, like my alarm goes off at 2:45, the first one, and the second one goes off at 3. So then I get up, I take my sweet time. You know, I get ready, I get all my stuff ready, I get my stuff in my backpack, and I'm out the door at like 4. Because I don't live too far from the station. But yeah, I wake up pretty early.
Now, you often hear, because here in town, I live 9 minutes from work, and Tampa Bay is a huge area, but it's not like a major market like Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York. So I really never have traffic that bad on my way to work unless there's a car crash. But for Los Angeles, it's like the second biggest city in this continent, one of the biggest cities in the world. How bad is the traffic?
Well, the traffic is horrendous. LA is by far the worst city with traffic. I mean, I've been to the East Coast. I've been to Delaware, Philadelphia, and traffic there is nothing because there is no traffic really. The traffic here is atrocious. But luckily for me, the station's in a city called Burbank, and I was born and raised in Burbank. I actually live 5 minutes away from the station, and it takes a super, super short time for me to get to the station because waking up at 4 in the morning and like no one on the street. But No, but yeah, traffic here is god awful. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy to be caught in traffic here.
So, what are the day-to-day things you do for the show? What are your responsibilities that you have for the Woody Show?
Yeah, so my day-to-day responsibilities are I'm in charge of running the cameras. So the content that you see on YouTube, I was the one who, switching the cameras, so it flows naturally, and then I'm also I play a big role, or a pretty big role, a semi-big role, I suppose, in scheduling a lot of the social posts for our affiliates on behalf of the show. So like all the Twitter stuff, all the Instagram stuff, like most of the time it's me. Otherwise it's Menace or somebody else. But yeah, I run the cameras, and then I assist in the day-to-day tasks of posting social media.
What is the key to having the best social media presence possible?
The best social media presence possible, in my personal opinion, granted I could be wrong, forgive me, Menace, if you're listening and I say something incorrect. But for me it's just repetition, consistency and repetition. You don't want to be that show or that person who posts one thing, and then 5 days later you post something else, or you're not consistent. The more consistent you are, the more the more presence you'll leave behind. And I won't go into detail too much.
Yeah, I know.
I know that this is all stuff that Menace is instructing me how to do.
Yeah,
but for the most part, in my mind, that's what stands out to me: repetition and consistency.
I think one tip he would be cool with us announcing is literally, if you're going to post a pic on Graham, post the link when it says link in bio. I feel bad for these dudes that are in their 30s and 40s that maybe aren't working in radio, and they're like, check out my local show I did. I'm trying to get back on air. And then they post the link, but you can't click on it. You have to go to the link in bio. It drives me nuts when people don't put in the effort to make their social media even better.
Yeah, it's you can tell the people who take their social media seriously and those who are educated on what they're doing. One thing that always stands out to me is a lot of the older generation, the older people, when they do their stuff, is they put a absolute onslaught of just hashtags. No sense. It makes no sense to me because it looks so sloppy. I mean, what are you doing, dude? Like even before I worked with Menace and radio and stuff, that was just always like, what are you doing, dude? Like nobody wants to see because then you have to read through the hashtags, or even if you stumble upon something, or if you put a weird hashtag, it's just weird, man. It's a sloppy look. It's not a very clean look.
Why should people tune into the Woody Show? What makes you guys any different than any other morning show?
What makes us different is a lot of things. We're genuine. We truly care about what we do. We love what we do. We're very dedicated to the craft, and I can't necessarily speak on behalf of everybody, being that, I'm simply just a cog in the machine that makes the Woody Show, work. But, Woody loves what he does. And you can tell with the rest of the show just how much they love it too. They truly, truly mean every single thing that they do. Everything they say is 100% genuine. You can, and every day we come in, it's like I mentioned earlier, being transparent. Like everything we say is, and I keep saying this, I keep repeating myself for some reason, but it's the truth. Like we're not that politically correct show. We're not going to apologize for what we say. We say what we say, but at the end of the day, it's our honest opinions. We're not going to pander. We're going to be who we truly are, and you can always count on us to produce quality work. And it makes me really proud that I'm lucky enough. And I know they hate this word, and if they listen to this, they're going to hate me for saying this word. But I'm truly blessed to be a part of the show. And I only say that because it's the only word I can think of that kind of emulates how I feel. But it's an honor, dude. It's really hard for me to express it because I've yet to really experience something else. But this is my entire radio career, So it's something. And if you're listening to this, like, you can just tell the sincerity of my voice, or hopefully you can. That I recommend it. Like this, we truly, truly, truly care about what we do and what we put out there. So I feel like that's what separates us the most.
Now, for people that are listening to this and they want to listen to the Woody Show, and maybe they're not in the markets that you guys are in, how can they listen to the Woody Show? Where can they check it out?
Absolutely. So if you want, if you like to listen to the Woody Show, but you're not in one of our cities, you can download the iHeartRadio app. And with the iHeartRadio app, you can listen to the show on the Alt 987 page. And in fact, the cool part about the iHeartRadio app is with the app, we also have podcasts that we record that we also put up there. We do like the Woody Show More Show, which is basically an additional 30 minutes, but uncensored, uncut. You sit and the show just talks about, whatever it may be. There's also the Nerd Out podcast that I'm also part of with Fake News Cameron and then Ravy and then one of Ravy's friends, and we talk about all things. But so the iHeartRadio app is one way to listen to us. Another way you can listen to us is our podcast. So you can go and we're there, or you can go on the website of one of our affiliates, and under the Woody Show blog tab, you'll find the podcast.
Well, dude, keep up the good work. I look up to what you do, man. I really like that you're humble, because I've seen people go on shows not even as big as you guys, and they have the biggest head possible, and it would be the type of arrogance that you think would come from being on a show in Los Angeles. So I do appreciate seeing what you do, and I love that you guys are humble. So keep up the good work, Randy. It's been a lot of fun having you on Hoppe Hour, my man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too, dude. This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, signing off.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Have you heard about the new deal in town? The best deal in Tampa Bay? If you haven't, I'm about to let you know. It's at 4330 North 40th Street, and that's in Tampa Bay, Florida. And here's the deal. Go to Metro PCS today and get 2 lines of unlimited LTE data for just $80. Yeah, that's right. Get 2 lines of unlimited data for just $80. Plus, you can get 2 free awesome smartphones with 32 gigs of memory when you switch, all on the best reliable network. And make sure you don't miss out on this unlimited deal. 2 lines of unlimited LTE data for just $80. Don't wait any longer to take advantage of this great deal. If you go there at 4330 40th Street North in Tampa Bay, Florida, and you tell them that Ryan Hoppe sent you and that you're a listener of Hoppe Hour, they will hook you up. And if there's anything else you want to know, maybe you want to call them real quick while you're driving to Metro PCS, call them at 813-628-8622. That's 813-628-8622. Tell them I sent you, and they will hook you up.